Hello friend, welcome to Marine Engineering Hub. This is narrator Ravi Gupta. Today we're going to talk about incinerator and SIP. Incinerator topic I will cover in two parts. Part 1, I will tell you what is an incinerator, why it is required, rules and regulation of incinerator. After that the component of incinerator, and then I will explain the whole system of incinerator. Okay. And in second part, I will tell you the maintenance, alarms, and the different operations which are carried out by incinerator. So let's start the first part of the incinerator. So what is an incinerator? So basically, an incinerator is an equipment installed in ship to burn sludge and other waste product generated on board ship. So an incinerator is provided so that it can burn the sludge which are generated on board ship and also burn the solid waste which are also generated on board ship. For that reason, incinerator is provided. Now, why an incinerator is required? An incinerator is required to ensure the sludge generation on board can be kept within limit and other products such as oily rags, cardboard, etc. can be burned. Okay. For that reason, we require an incinerator. We require to ensure that sludge should be kept in a limit and the oily rags and other component can be burned from time to time to prevent the unwanted accumulation of sludge on board ship. As you can know, the rules and regulation of incinerator. All foreign going vessels after 1st January 2000 shall have to be fitted with a MARPOL compliance incinerator. It is very important the incinerator which is to be installed should be have a MARPOL compliance. What are the MARPOL compliance? It is that Annex 1, Annex 2, Annex 3 cargo residues and related contaminated packing materials are prohibited to be burned in incinerator. Means Annex 1, Annex 2 and Annex 3 cargo cannot be burned in a incinerator. Polychlorinated biphenyl cannot be burned in incinerator. Garbage of Annex 5, that is sewage, containing more traces of heavy metal cannot be burned in Annex 5. Refined petroleum products containing halogen, naphtha, etc. cannot be burned in incinerator. Polyvinyl chloride (PVC) pipes is prohibited except approved incinerator according to Resolution MEPC 5933 and MEPC 7640. It means that the plastic products in some of the incinerator having the type approval can burn, but most of them are prohibited. Means if your incinerator is been provided with a type approval of burning the PVC component, then only you can burn it, otherwise you cannot. So before burning the PVC material or a plastic material, you should cross check that whether approved well is there or not, otherwise problem may arise. Now 6 is monitoring of combustion flue gas outlet temperature shall be required at all time and waste shall not be fed in a continuous feed shipboard incinerator when the temperature is below the minimum allowed temperature of 850 degrees Celsius. So very important. For batch loaded shipboard incinerator, the unit shall be designed so that the temperature in the combustion shall be reached 600 degrees Celsius within a 5 minutes after startup. So it is very important that if the incinerator is batch loaded type, the temperature of 600 degrees Celsius should be able to reach within a period of 5 minutes. Now the question is asked that why the incinerator the temperature clause is there, that why it should reach within that 5 minute 4 minute, why this 5 minute clause is there? Because to ensure that the incinerator combustion take place in such a way that there is very less scope of improper combustion. Okay. Now now we will see the component of the incinerator. The incinerator component can be divided into five parts. One is the primary combustion chamber. Okay. One is the primary combustion chamber, one is the secondary combustion chamber, one is the acceleration box, and one is the sluice box. So let's see. Primary combustion chamber consists of diesel oil burner, primary sludge burner, and primary blower. Secondary combustion chamber consists of diesel oil burner, secondary sludge burner. Third is the refractory lining, fourth is the sluice door, and fifth is the ash collection box. So right now, which you can see is the internal component of the incinerator. Basically, the incinerator can be parted into two parts. One is the primary part, second is the secondary part. So in primary part, what is happening? Basically, the primary part consists of the primary blower. Second is the primary sludge burner. Third is the diesel burner. And secondary consists of secondary diesel oil burner and secondary oil burner, sludge burner. And to feed the solid waste, when sludge burning is not taking place, it is fed to this box, sluice box, which is open, and then the solid waste such as cardboard, oily rags are fed, and then it is been burned. After carrying out the burning process, after a specific period of time, the incinerator is left away to be cooled for a particular amount of time, and then the ash is collected by opening this ash door, and all the ash which is formed is collected and stored in a trunk or stored in a drum, and then it is landed ashore. We will understand the system more better after studying the working of the incinerator. The incinerator is designed with a primary combustion chamber for burning sludge oil and a solid waste, and secondary combustion chamber for burning the uncombusted product. So, in primary combustion chamber, first the process of ignition is taking place, and any unburned particles which remain in the primary combustion chamber is carried away by the primary blower exhaust draft, and then it is burned in secondary chamber to a complete form, and then it is taken away in a uptake. Okay. Both chambers are equipped with a diesel oil burner called primary burner and secondary burner respectively. Now what happened, in order to assist the burning at the starting, two burners are provided, basically the primary burner and secondary burner, which is being supplied with a diesel oil, and this diesel oil is supplied from a dedicated diesel oil tank, and this burner help to ignite and perform the complete combustion till after a period of time the combustion heat is sufficient to carry out the auto combustion process. It means at the starting of 10 to 15 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, the diesel burner of primary and secondary burner will assist in burning the sludge combustion, and after a specific period of time when the temperature has reached around 850 to 900 degrees Celsius, at that time this burner will be switched off, and the temperature inside the refractory material and temperature inside the incinerator is sufficient to burn the incoming sludge continuously. Now, if the temperature drop because of large water content, in that case it will again take over and again will help in assisting the burning process, and once the temperature reach, again it will cut off. Okay. The heat from the primary burner will dry out and start burning the solid waste or ignite the sludge oil. The very large heat transmission area optimize the burning of sludge. Is very important process. Means the second question is can be asked that why the primary burner area is bigger than the secondary burner area. It is because so that to optimize the burning, initial burning, to optimize the burning to a maximum efficiency, the primary burner is provided a larger area. After that, any incomplete burning which is remain is been taken care by the secondary burner. Okay, the primary and secondary chamber are separated by a wall made up of ceramic heavy duty refractory. As you know, the main aim of refractory in any cases is to conserve the heat within the system so that the heat can be utilized for reignition and preservation, means to providing an environment where the combustion can take place very easily with a less wastage of heat. Diesel oil tank are fitted with a strainer and burner also provided with a strainer. Basically, this diesel oil tank is fitted with a strainer and a pump which will pump the oil inside the burner so that it can assist the combustion at the starting. Okay, now let's have a closer look of the inside of the incinerator. Means now we are looking this part in a closer look. As you can see, this is the primary combustion chamber where the primary blower, primary burner and primary diesel oil burner are installed. After the combustion of the air, the primary blower will blow the remaining product to a secondary chamber. In secondary chamber, the secondary burner and the secondary sludge oil is provided where the oil will further burn. Now, after the here, it will go to the exhaust draft. Okay, so this is how it is been kept. Now, at a closer look, as you can see, this is the primary blower performing the action. Here, the combustion is taking place. After combustion, it is going through here and it is coming out from the fan. This is a sluice box which will be open when we are not using it for a sludge burning. If we want to burn oily rags, cardboard and other product, then at that time we'll open the sluice valve, we'll keep the thing here, and after that with the help of a pneumatic operated valve, this will be kept bring back here, and after that with the help of diesel oil burner this will be burned. Okay, now working of incinerator continuation. Sludge tank is provided just near the incinerator where the sludge oil is first preheated to a temperature of 90 to 95 so that water content get evaporated and then it is sent to incinerator via waste oil milling pump. Very important. As you can see here, this is the waste oil tank. The oil from the oily sludge tank is bring brought here in the waste oil tank. Here the temperature is raised around 90 to 95 degrees Celsius so that the water contained inside the mixture can be evaporated to maximum amount so that the oil or a sludge which is going for burning can be burned with maximum efficiency. Okay, with a less amount of water, as water have a tendency to lower the temperature and have a cooling effect and will give problem during the combustion. Okay, now waste oil tank consists of following thing: heater with a temperature controller. Okay, level switch with low level alarm, means if the suction which is taken from the mill pump and provided for sludge burning, if the level in the waste oil tank is much more lower than the limit, it will stop the incinerator and will give an alarm. High level alarm is provided so that if the while during the incinerator is being while the sludge tank is being filled up, means when we are filling up the sludge tank from the sludge oil tank, it is filled up the waste oil tank. At that time, to ensure that it doesn't get overfilled, and high level alarm is provided which will be activated when the system is filled to a particular level. A low level is provided so that if if the system has gone to below limit, in that case it will prevent the incinerator from continue process. Now, compressed air is supplied to a sludge burner for atomization and to avoid pipe blockage. Very important point. As we know that air is a very important thing for combustion, and hence for atomization a separate system is provided which will supply air for atomization. Thermocouple, it is provided to cut in and cut off the burner. If it is not provided, the whole refractory will melt down. Very important point. Now what will happen? A thermocouple is provided in a secondary area. This thermocouple will monitor the temperature, and if the temperature has exceeded certain limit, it will stop the burning of the primary sludge or secondary sludge burner so that the temperature doesn't exceed the limit. Means if the temperature is going above 900 degrees Celsius, it will stop the operation and it will continue the blower. And once the temperature comes down to 800 or 750, at that time it will again start the process. Okay, so that by continuously monitoring the temperature of the secondary area, it will ensure that the refractory doesn't melt down, because each refractory has a melting temperature. If it is kept, if it is forced to a certain temperature, the whole thing will melt down, and hence it is very important to continuously check the temperature, and hence the thermocouple is provided. So I hope you understand today how the incinerator work. If you have any doubt, you can comment below and I will try to explain. Please friends, please do subscribe, please do share with your friends. Have a good day.